Okay, so now we're going to look at monitoring and controlling. Make sure you make that distinction in your mind, monitoring and controlling, and also closing. So we've looked at initiating and planning, that was here. We've looked at executing, that was over here. Remember, no execution of the scope or the schedule or the cost. But now you can see that monitoring and controlling goes through all of the knowledge areas. Okay, so it goes through all of them here. And then closing, of course, has only one process in it. So let's have a look at monitoring and controlling. And so the first one is obviously monitor and control the project work. It kind of makes sense that you monitor and control. And what was used there is going to be the performance reports, our progress, our status, and our forecast. Those three reports that we'll have to produce. And then perform integrated change control. So that's the one, actually it's quite important, that allows us to update the plan. So plan, do, check. Plan, do, check. But then we need the act. And so this is the perform integrated change control. So the change requests go in and the output is approved change requests back here again. And of course, then we go around the cycle again. Okay. Now, of course, we can start to look at the things that are important to us. We say control the schedule. That makes sense, of course, that we would do it over here. We control the costs. Okay. So we're going to see that. And basically what we're going to get there is some forecasting of how we're doing and how we're going to do. We control the scope and we control the quality. So control the scope, of course, is something that's very important to us. Control the quality, of course, is going to be equally important. Remember, manage the quality up here and control the quality down here. Now we control this is an interesting one. We control the procurements, okay? Makes sense that we would do that. Having conducted the procurements, we control, and in that we also close the procurements. We control the resources. This is the one. So it's new to PMBOK 6. Previously we didn't do that, but this is controlling the non-human resources. So let's say you have a machine that's supposed to be doing something at a certain rate. You want to check, is the machine doing it at that rate? Is it better? Is it worse? And do we have a problem? So we have to control the non-human resources. You can see that there's three more that I just want you to show before we get onto this. So monitor the communications. So now we're having the three monitor ones. So we monitor communications. We don't control them. We monitor the communications. We monitor the stakeholder engagement. Okay, that's another one as well. It kind of makes sense that we have something here to be able to execute it. So therefore that can be here. And we monitor the risks. So basically, because we have an activity here that allows us to do something, we can then monitor it, because remember, monitoring is not taking the corrective action. It's not taking the action. But so basically we can monitor those. So the one we're missing here is probably the most important one in the controlling, which is validate the scope. Now, validate the scope is where we accept the deliverables. So the deliverables are produced here. The deliverables are verified here. They're called verified deliverables. And then we accept them here. Now they're accepted by the stakeholders in accordance with the rules of the road. Okay, so we have the stakeholders gave us the requirements, and part of that will be the acceptance criteria. We accept it, and therefore we can do this famous one. We can close the project here. That's it. So now you can see the whole of the PMBOK on one page. Hopefully you've seen it, that it's a little bit like a map. Okay, so you see that you take your map and you see the states, and then you see the PMBOK and you say, okay, I can see these as kind of areas or states that come before or after or close to each other. And therefore, when I come back, we can start to look at the outputs, and you can see that they're in green. Now, some of them are repeated, so therefore I've put them on. But once we've done that, then we can look at the tools and techniques. And if you know from the PMBOK, there's a lot of tools and techniques. A lot of them are repeated. Expert judgment, 35 times. Meetings, 28 times. You can see this as we go around. And then I can say expert judgment, expert judgment, expert judgment, expert judgment, meetings, meetings, meetings. But then we can start to see where there's no meetings. Do you understand? Then we can start to see where there's no expert judgment. But we do have to add on some other ones, and we'll be doing that in the next module. Okay, looking forward to seeing you when we do the outputs and the tools and techniques. And then we will have a better map of the PMBOK.